your quality of audio is exceptionally good. John, are you doing much on the radio?
Every day, but for example, last week, the week that's just left us, the working week, it's the late shift, so I get some radio work done in the morning. Next week it's the early shift, so I'll be on maybe in the afternoon and in the evening time. But yeah, you came up to also 20 over 9, and I hope you and the lady of the house are well. Over.
Oh, all's good. John here. My health is keeping good. So is my and so all's good here, and enjoying. Spent a bit of the week putting up a fence at the back of the house here. Been blowing down with the storm, and finally got it sorted out and got some new timber and all here. And during the week there, I spent a bit of time putting in some new posts, taking out some of the old concrete and that there, the Kango. So at my age, I think I wouldn't be capable of doing such a thing. But this is the way I am. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, you're as well. You know, they used to have that thing. You know, you're as old as the woman you feel, whatever. But you're great. Now, I don't know if you ever heard of that. I developed maybe not a month, about a year or 2 years, something like that, light asthma. So I never had it in my life before. So and then I was given one of those puffers, as they call it, and that was fine. And then I put it down for a while, and then it came back. So I'm back on the puffer in the morning and in the evening, and that's really improved things. Over.
Yeah, very, very good. I found the puffer. Have one in my pocket here. I don't use it, John. I don't use it. I'm on two puffers that was prescribed years ago by a doctor from South Africa, a young lady doctor, and I just take a puff in the morning and I take a puff at night. It must be helping me because I'm not short of breath any time. John, you know, the puffer, as you call it there, the Ventolin, I would always carry it because I had a close shave some time back there, caught out without it, and I took an asthmatic attack. And I just made it into the house to get another one. You know what, John? It was still in my pocket. Couldn't find it with other things in my pocket. But is it the Ventolin you're taking, John? Is it?
Well, I'm not sure what it is. It's a small little white thing, a round thing, and it has a red top on it. And you just twist it once. I think there's a counter now. I had another thing, but that was quite expensive, and it had a counter, and it counted down to 0 from 30. So I now have the puffer, but it's amazing. Yeah, they have to be got on prescription. Over.
Ah, yes. Well, everything here that I take is on prescription as well. John, no, that's not. No, mine is a little blue container. Gas loaded or whatever. When you squeeze it, and this Ventolin comes out. I haven't been taking it for years, but I always carry it now. As I said, I had a close shave, some time ago, and I'll tell you something. I don't need it, but I always carry it off me. And is that a powder? Is that a powder one, John, or it's a liquid? Do you know?
Yes, I do, John. It's the powder one. Very little granules, those tiny granules. And to test, I remember I had one previous, and I wasn't figuring out how to use it properly. And then he said, well, you just have to, if you want to test if it still has something in it, you tap it on a table or something like that, and you see those tiny little, those little white granules. Over.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, the granule one would be no good for me there. I got that. I got it 30, 40 years ago. and a doctor come out at 3 o'clock in the morning to me, and I may have told you this before, and that's what he gave me, that little granule stuff. And it took actually worse when I started to take it when I left, and I had to ring again. It was 4 o'clock in the morning there, and another doctor, the boss doctor, come out then, and he took a look at what he had, the first doctor prescribed for me, and he threw it into a bucket, the coal bucket beside the fire. He threw it into the coal bucket. He says, that there, he says, is not for you. He says, who gave you that? That is one of your staff. One of the doctors was out here. He says, that is not for you. And he gave me an injection. He actually gave me an injection. John, I get really bad with asthma. Back down to nothing there. My energy and gasping for breath there, I get really, really bad. And you wonder sometimes how I'll make it back out of it there, how bad I get. But that's whatever, anyway. We're still here. Are you doing much on the DX? I'm not finding much in the mornings here, John, for Australia or New Zealand or Tasmania for a good while. I get the odd maybe one call or whatever there. People, some of them people over there take pity on me, and after hear me calling for about 10 minutes, I call in to say hello. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger, and the lady of the house. Yeah, okay. Yeah, see you. Yeah, the lady of the house just passed by, and she was telling me she was going out to the shops. Anyway, getting back to the DX. Now, I know you don't do what I do, but I normally, if I'm on the late shift, John, I always call in on the Greg and Grant show. Over.
Oh, yes. Well, you know what? You see, when them two guys come on at the start, them two guys called into me, but they were separate. They were always separate that time when I started, when I used to be calling CQ years ago. When them two guys started up, I don't know when they started, but anyway, when I could start to hear them, they used to call in the mornings to me now when I was calling CQ. But I still keep in contact with them. They do call in from time to time. So no, I don't like getting into the stuff of waiting. Go ahead.
Yeah, now I know you don't like the net thing, and I wonder, did you ever call in to the Irish hour? Over?
No, I don't call into anything, John. I just got this thing in my head. Come in and switch on the radio and call CQ. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, well, that can sometimes be a thankless task. But just getting back to this, the puffer, that's what we call it. I've no idea what you call it in Echo India. By the way, Echo India 4 India Tango, Oscar November 8 Echo India for ID. Well, anyway, the puffer, I told you that I stopped with it, and then it all came back. So I think from now on, although I swore not to be on medication, I also take now, and this is from about a year ago, and he says you really have to take it because really it's going to put your life in jeopardy if you don't. So I take a tablet at night for cholesterol. I tried every way of getting it down, but I think it's a family thing. So I take that, and the cholesterol. Now I know the measurements are different in Ireland, but it went down from 235 down to 135. So he was very happy with that, and so was my local doctor. But what was happening with this kind of asthma, that light asthma, I'd be talking to, say, you or someone on the radio, or even talking, someone at work, and suddenly I just run out of puff. Over.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying there, John. But fine on the cholesterol, I don't have any. No, I am taking one tablet now at night for thinning of the blood, John, and that's only natural for my age. Apart from that, I don't take any other tablets. I'm not on any tablets whatsoever. Just an inhaler in the morning. It's called Ventolin. Is it called Ventolin? I think so. I can't remember even. They have two different ones. One puff at night and one in the morning there. And from that day that I started those two, as was recommended by that doctor, she said to me, I went to an appointment with her 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And she was a new doctor, an asthmatic doctor, and she was, as I said, she's from South Africa. And she said to me, I'll leave you that you won't be depending on inhalers when you're working, And I sort of more or less laughed at her. But she did, John. The 2 inhalers she gave me, I went off. I was on the puffer, the Ventolin, this blue little container thing. Yes, I was on that. And during my, the work I done was more or less labouring, you could describe it as. And it was pretty sore on the wind. And I was puffing, I was taking this Ventolin, as a liquid inhaler. And, when I would get really, really short of breath when I was working. And from the day that I started to take the 2 inhalers that she recommended, John, I hadn't got a Ventolin. I didn't even bother taking it with me for years and years. I never used it. I'm still not using it. It's just if an emergency, I take it with me for if I had an emergency. But apart from that, I never ever take the one that I used to take, for being short of breath. I never ever have to use that for maybe 10 years at least now there. So pretty good. So anyway, I'm what I do what I do on the radio, calling and all that type of stuff. But it's amazing what I get. And John, it's really amazing. I was talking to Ferry last night. He called into me one of them evenings when before he started his DX thing, and I had a QSO with him for about 10 or 15 minutes, which is most unusual. I called into him last night again, and do you know the signal he gave me at 20 over 9? He gave me a report of 20 over 9, and he played it back, and I couldn't believe how strong I was going into Ferry, YB0 Alpha Radio, last night, and he was 10 over 9. Ferry doesn't use big power, I think maybe about 200 watts, so yeah, I enjoy that more, and John, and maybe going around the bands, and trying to call in to people that are maybe busy or whatever, and they give you these, the 5 and 9, and away you go. I'll be getting, Indonesia, I'll be getting New Zealand. I got Rob there one of them mornings. It was 6 o'clock in the morning with him, and it was 7 or 8 o'clock at night with me there. And I couldn't believe it when I was calling CQ at that time. And he was out of bed. So you get all these most unusual bits and pieces, and I like that very well. Over.
Yeah, Roger on that. Yeah, very good. Well, you see, I am, not similar to yourself, but I don't go in for the 5-9. And, I've had conversations. I think I spoke with Wayne, who down in Sydney. I think we talked, it was like 2.5 hours one time. So I go for the long conversations. But sometimes when you hear someone calling, and lots of people are calling, it's always nice to give them a shout. I won't waste my time, but I'll see if I can get in, and if I get in, I'll be happy. But I remember one evening, and if I had known that you were there, I would have brought you in. I'm not sure if you're happy to be brought in. I'm always happy to be brought in, and I know others are as well. But I was talking with 9K2KO, who and you were calling and calling and calling. But, it's not that he avoids people. It's just he doesn't hear them. And I know his story about that anyway. So I was in first, and then you were there. And I really wish if it had been the other way, if I had heard you first, John, over.
it makes no difference, John. If someone doesn't hear me, I don't go off in a huff. I don't go off in a huff, John, if someone doesn't hear me. That's quite acceptable. I was talking to Weenan down in Namibia there, was it yesterday evening, on the 14th, 2 days ago, 2 nights ago, Victor 5-1 whiskey. Hadn't had him for 2 years. And, you know, I swing the aerial round here, the antenna, and always around about 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, Asia. And it's surprising what I'm getting. And John there, you know, from Asia. And Paddy's on there from India. And he hardly ever misses an evening without calling in to say hello to me. So there's some lovely people on, and John on the radio. And you get these bits and pieces. Then if I don't get anything that direction, swing it round towards South Africa or Africa again. And just out of nowhere, a Weena and Victor 5-1 whiskey come back to me there. So I like the surprise bits. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I'm going to break. Well, not me, but we're going to break a habit of a lifetime. Will you say a very good afternoon to Spanish Dave? Over.
Right. Is there someone calling in now? Go ahead.
Yeah, how are you getting on, John? EI4IT EA5JNM in the group there, John. Yeah, signal's not as good as they were a little bit earlier in the day. I was talking to John and Andy there, but signals were much better there. But I have you about 5 and 6, 5, 7 there most of the time, John. Echo India 4, Echo India 4 IT, Echo Alpha 5, Juliet November Mike. Copy, John.
Dave, good copy. Good copy, but not signal. Audio Q5, but you're running from about a 3 to a signal 5 here, Dave, so it's a good enough copy. So good morning to you. There's afternoon with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Yeah, well, good afternoon on my side there, exactly. Yeah, we'll hold it long. Just had to pop in and say a quick hello there. I was chatting with Sean a bit earlier on 20 there. Signal's so much better there, so there you go. But you're always putting out a good signal, John. You're like a beacon coming out of Donegal, out of the northwest of Ireland there. I can hear John. I know there's some propagation there. Echo India 4, India Tango, EA5JNM. I'll do 4 more over and then I'll say 7-3. John and I had a good chat there this morning, but what was I going to say, John? You're a lot of saltwater portable these days, but have you been out with the coil there much, over?
No, it's far too cold here, Dave. It would freeze you here. It's 6 or 7 degrees at the moment, but we're getting the north wind here, and it would skin you outside, and I don't want to be sitting in the car. There's not much during the day here, Dave, to be quite honest there, you know. It takes 4 or 5 o'clock and before anything happens much, and as I say, it's far too cold for me to be going sitting anywhere, so I haven't been bothering for a while there. So anyway, just look at your page again. You're using the 1010, or you got a 1010. I have one of those for about a year and a half now, and I'm really happy with it. I mean, there's a cheap amplifier or a low-powered amplifier, and it seems to work fantastic. I have it on a 7800 over.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, EI4IT EA5JNM. I'd say that's pushing it to the limits now. For lads working from an apartment building, if you know what I mean, John. I think anything more now is just likely to get myself in trouble there down the road there. So we'll keep it sweet with the neighbours. But I'll let you boys get back to it. I just thought I'd pop in again. Thanks, John, the other John in Belgium, for letting me in there. Just thought I'd pop in and give you a quick report there, John. But you're sounding good. I need to go and get a bit of brunch there, and then you need to go out and get some fresh air there. But lovely to hear you in there, John. And I'll say 7-3 from this side. Echo Alpha 5. Hey, John, this John wants to comment on something. I'll have a listen for 1 more over, and then I better go in to have the brunch there. EI4IT EA5JNM.
All right, Dave. Dave, are you causing interference on some of the other apartments with the amplifier, over?
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I can get away with doing that much without. any of that there, and everything is balanced, only balanced and tennis here. So no, but I don't want to push my luck, John. So I don't want to be running any Spanish kilowatts, as they say.
Okay, well, that's a good. It's good that you're not interfering with anyone. That used to be a big problem years ago, but I think with all the stuff changing, there doesn't seem to be many people interfering with the TVs or whatever. Anyway, we'll let you say your goodbyes to John there. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, no worries, John. Dealer John, Oscar November 8, Echo India, EA5JNM. Well, I'd say now, I'd say John and Donegal there, I'd say back in the day there, people knew, I'd say people knew when John was on there, back in the good old days of TVI there. I'd say John, I'd say you were a big culprit there, EI4IT there. I'd say RTE1 was competing with you there on many a night there. Anyway, back to you for comments there, Sean, and then I'm going to skedaddle out of here.
Surprisingly enough, John, I never ever had any problem with interference. You see, I don't know whether it's the tower that's down the backyard or the height above ground or whatever. But anyway, they always had the antennas good and resident there they was using, and I never ever had a problem in the house even. And for neighbours, there's nobody. Well, there's a couple of houses round about here, but I've never had any complaints. I think the first house would get it be your own if you had TVs or whatever, but that really never had been an issue there with me and Dave. So lucky enough. Anyway, out in the country is different from being in the city or towns or whatever, or apartments. Out here there's not much, and there's one house on each side of me here, and I've never had any problem with them there, with anything, to be quite honest, Dave. So anyway, 7-3 to you. Might get you over the weekend. I wonder, is there a contest today?
I'm not sure, but 73, John, I'll throw it back over to you there, John, to tie a ribbon in it from my side. Echo Oscar November 8, Echo India, EA5JNM in the group signing.
Yeah, okay, Dave, and we might meet up later on to speak with Kurt. So EA5JNM, ON80I, Dave, over.
Yeah, 7-3, John. Take it easy, and John and Donegal, 73.
7-3 to you, bye-bye.
Yeah, and Dave, by the way, you're 5 and 9. So back she goes to you, John, and I spread myself out a little bit. I went out one more K, so I'm on 4 at the moment because there's someone on the side as I don't know, VK2, what was it, UE or something like that. He used to always refer to it as monkey chatter, over.
Well, I don't know. There's people. I've got some QRM now, X12 in the shack, and the fire has to be cleaned out here, so we're going to have to leave. She always, this has to be done before the floor's washed. So this is my cue to go as well. John, no, I'm not getting any interference there. Some people, last night or yesterday evening, I had a QSY off the frequency I started to call on. The station called in and he said, we're down a few ACs and we're starting to run on net. He says, you're bleeding over. So anyway, I just apologised and went away with myself there, and John. So whatever. We'll put her back to you for a final. And any contests on this weekend, do you know?
I have no idea because I don't follow them and I don't take part in them. The only one I ever did was the Irish one that goes on for about an hour. And I think I made, I didn't call. I just gave a few points out. And I think I got, was it 10 or 20 people? But John, I have zero, and I really mean zero interest in that. And I know what you're saying about the fire has to be cleaned. I wonder your stove, and I wonder, is it a stove or is it an open heart? Is it a stove or open heart, John? Over.
Oh, No, John, it's a stove. It's actually a range. You used to call them a range, and I still call them a range. Do you know what it's called? It's called a Tyrolia, a cooker. And I bought it new when I put this house up. In 1983, we come in here, and that Tyrolia range is still working 100%, and it's like the day it was bought. It's just like a piece of the furniture in the kitchen. My kitchen's quite a big kitchen. It's really, for heat, there's nothing to compare with it. It heats the whole house here. You know, a bungalow is probably maybe it's more difficult to heat a bungalow than it is to heat an extra story house. But anyway, it leaves this house unbelievable over the winter, and then the oil kicks in when in the morning times or whatever here. So we keep it quite comfortable over.
Yeah, Roger. So you're burning oil? You're using oil. And I had an idea that you were burning wood. Over.
No, there's no wood to burn here. We're burning coal. We're still burning smokeless. We're doing the smokeless coal thing. Over.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. No, we burn wood. So I have to set it up, and then later on in the evening, let's say for example I'm at work. The oldest harmonic, he sets it up, and in the beginning he wasn't great at making it rip, but I make sure there's lots of kindling so it can get a good start, John. But okay, John, nice speaking with you. I'm gonna probably just shut down now. I want to do a few jobs. I don't know if I ever told you, but I built a 5-element Yagi for 10 meters with an 8.3 meter boom. It's all ready to go, and I'm just waiting for my pal to drop over, and we'll hoist it into the sky. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, John. Over.
I certainly will. I'll be looking forward to hearing you on it there. How high can you put it?
Yeah, 15 meters, 1.5. Over.
Yeah, that'll be good. John, there for you. Yeah, the antenna that I'm using has got 4 elements on the 20 meter, on the 10 meters, so it works really fantastic as well here, John, there at the 20 meters above the ground here. So anyway, all the best. We'll listen for you. And if you hear me in, please call in to say hello. 73 from EI4IT. Got to leave.
Yeah, okay, John, take care. We keep in touch. Greetings to the lady of the house, and do your housework. EI4IT ON80I. Till the next time, always a pleasure. Over.
Thank you, 73.